Hello, welcome back to Dents and Dings. Today we're taking another, we're looking at the MG again. Today we're going to install the side mirrors on the doors. I mean, it looks cool without them. Someone went through some effort to remove them and, make it look clean. But, I'd like to get this thing about as legal as possible. So I'm gonna install mirrors, reinstall the mirrors. Well, they're not the original mirrors, but they're pretty close to the original styles, at least as far as I think. I didn't choose them. They were in the trunk of the car when I bought it, so obviously the previous owner was gonna install them, but I bought it a little too early. What are you gonna do? So, anyways, here I'm gonna just mangle the doors and throw on some mirrors. I got my drill and everything else ready. Alright, so first off, I'll apologize because you're probably not going to be able to see too well. It's dark. It is about to rain, like I mentioned, so I can hear it raining now, actually. That's great. But, so I'm just on the edge of the tent here. A little bit farther out and I'm getting wet. So this is perfect because I need to work right here. And I don't think I can move the car in much further. Anyways, so these are the mirrors I got. This is the right-hand mirror. So I was test fitting them at one day and, well, I don't know. I think their factory position, which would have been, I think around here, probably is the best. At least if you want to actually see your mirrors. But maybe a little bit lower, because I also want to be able to use my these little wing windows that fold out. So I need to make sure I account for that. I'm not going to put any marks on the body. I'm going to put some masking tape on there just to get them lined up right. Unfortunately, I don't have a good way to hold it in place while I look to see the fitment. But I think around here would be good. The issue with these mirrors is that they don't like to, well, I don't think they stick out far enough. Personally, they're small, and the inside of the car is just so tight. When you look outside the doors, it's like, you're not going to be able to see the passenger mirror very well to begin with. So the driver's mirror is what really counts in this car. And even that, it's just so close to you, it feels really awkward. But anyways, I gotta have them. Just to at least to make myself feel a bit more, I don't know. Anyways, mirrors. So, these have I haven't tightened, but this has a little plastic base this is the best one, I think, that'll fit it. So what I'm going to do is I'll put masking tape down about where I want it, and then fit it again, and then mark some hole. You get a Sharpie and mark where I want my holes drilled. I'll also take some measurements just to make sure it's even so I can get it symmetrical on the other side, because that will bother me if it's not symmetrical. So I got to pay attention to that. And yeah, that's about it. So I'm going to make sure this area is cleared off. I have a rag here. My main concern is that because I'm right by the edge of the tent, it's bound to get a bit wet yet. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So before I stick it down, I just need to make sure the height's okay. And it needs to come a bit further back, it looks like. Yeah, I think we pretty much want it about as far back as I can. Which, I don't really like the look of how far back it is, but if I want it to be at all effective, I need it to be before this little well, the edge of that window. One more time, I'll slide a little bit. Okay, so I think there is pretty decent. It's a bit low, but if I put it much higher, then I need to push it even further back because of this thing. And I think this will end up being the best solution. I don't mind it being low from the inside at least, because at least there I'm tall enough sitting inside it that I'm looking down on the mirror. It works all right. But yeah, if it's too high, then I might just lose out on the adjustment that I need. I wish I had a longer arm that would allow for more adjustment, but it's very limited in what I can do with it. So that's something I have to work around. But I think around this height and maybe this far back, and I'll take measurements before I really go for it, but need another piece of tape below it. I don't know, it would have been great if I had another set of mirrors I could try, but this is what I have, and I'd rather not buy another set just because I don't like the looks of these. Or the functionality of these, I should say. Let me unlatch that window so I can check to make sure it doesn't get in the way. So yeah, this of course has this type of vent window that swings out. So that's what I need to pay attention to when I want the clearance. I think I want it about as far forward as I can take it before it hits. And I think that's about where it'll be. Right, so we want it around there, I think we decided. I think this is about the farthest up the window would go. I guess it could go, yeah, about there, I think. Then it kind of lines up with the that frame there, which it works fine for me. I'm just going to leave a mark on the tape so you can kind of see where I have it. Okay. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is, I think I'll take this off and see if I can stick a Sharpie through to get the holes that I'll need to drill marked. And then I can actually measure it to make sure it's level and everything else. Okay. Have this. Now, while I have this, before I... Oh, actually that might not work. No, it doesn't quite reach. Dang it. So... I don't know how to do this. Maybe I have one of the other things. There should be an extra flat piece, but I guess I'll have to use this one. That's not going to be any good either. Okay then. Well, I suppose I could use this. And I don't know. Okay, well, I got this lined up. Well, let me just mark the top edge so I can actually measure it. Or, nah. No point marking it. Let's just measure it. Flies are pretty bad. Alright, 5.1. Just give that a scooch. Alright. Okay, that's about where I need it. The hop mark. Alright. Now I just need to get the holes marked somehow. Nope. Maybe if I do this. Alright, that kind of worked. It's marked the tape. so I just need to... Rose! Dog keeps eating the cat food. Alright, I think that's about right. Let me measure them just to be sure they're level again. Actually, it would be best to use something that wraps around the curve, but... 6. Alright, yep, that's about right. I just need to lower that one a bit. Okay. Now, I need to actually put holes into the door. That's the fun part, right? No. I really don't want to put holes into the car. That's why I've been putting this off for so long. So anyways, I guess it's just what I have to do. Okay. Oh, great. This really isn't going well. Okay. Yeah, that one slid around a bit more than I had hoped it would, so that'll be covered at least. I don't need to worry too much, but... Alright, second hole. Try to get it centered right. Start slow. Alright. Okay. There's our holes. That was scary. And they don't look level. Great. Great, 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 great. They don't look level at all. Alright. Well, let's hope they look better with the mirror actually installed. But, I mean, fortunately... oh well. Oh well. Let's just get to the other side and get the door card out so I can actually get to where that is. Quite a lot of moisture at the bottom of the door. So that's great. There's not a whole lot of rust inside of here, at least. Although I can tell on the back of here it's been sealed. I'll have to wipe that off before. But I can see my holes that I made there, and I should be able to get up there with the plastic piece. So I'm just gonna do that. And I think we're just gonna trim off those tiny peg things. Well, I just snapped them off anyways. Okay, that works. Next, I just have to hold this in position and put the screws through it. I guess you'll just stay there. You won't see much, but I won't see much either, to be fair. And I have to leave the window rolled up, of course, because it'll block my access. So, alright, so we set that on there, and I think alright, that's level there. I'm going to make a Sharpie mark. Well, I suppose it won't matter because this tape is going to have to come off one way or another. I'll just have to line it up when I tighten it down again. And, well, now that I've finished mangling the door, I'm going to take this tape off. And then the instructions didn't say anything about it, but I think I'm going to put some silicone around it, around the base of it, and that should hopefully keep water out, which is what you don't want water in your doors, not inside them, especially not inside them. It's one thing to be inside the car, like to get the driver wet. It's another thing to get inside the actual door. Let's see. So I have that. Then I need to do this tricky business of reaching around and everything. Just get this. And I should hopefully see the screws poke out. There they are. Oh, nope. Okay. Gotta use my fingertips. Alright, and that. Hey, it's in. No, it isn't. Dang it. Alright, I am back. I said I was going to use wood glue, but I remembered I just picked up some more super glue. So what I did was I put some super glue in it, threw some baking soda in it, threw some super glue, baking soda, baking. Anyways, I filled the holes, and I'm gonna re-drill them right now, and I hope that'll be a lot stronger than both the wood glue and just the door skin, which is what it was supposed to be, I think, and I think that's stupid, so I'm not doing that. I forgot to clean that off. Oh well. Okay. So what I need is a bit that should be small enough that the screws can tap into. I just need to grab one of the screws, grab one of the screws, alright, and I'll just compare to what I have available. Alright, let's go 1/8. 7/64 is pretty close, but I think that might be a little bit too tight and it might just end up breaking my whole idea. This I think should work best. Me. I'm going to drill from the back side too instead of the front. Alright, looks like I still have a tube. Right, let's try the other side. And that one looked like it mangled it a bit, but I think there's still, I can thread into there. Let's take my screw. Let's just test that theory. Yeah, that should be fine. Great. Alright, I think that'll work. Obviously, not all the baking soda got glued, so there's still powder, but whatever. I need to get this in place first, if I can remember how I did this before. That was like that. And let's put some caulking on it. It would be nice if bugs got the memo of what bug spray is supposed to do. Alright. Push that down. Make sure it's screwed in a bit further. There we go. Now we set the back plate there. Set, place, position. Oh, this is tough. I knew this project would be a pain. I just didn't think it would be this much of a pain. Threading in, and I don't want to make it too tight or else I might strip it out before it's completely dry. It still has quite a ways to go yet. Oh, come on now. It really doesn't want to pull in any closer. I don't know why. Okay, now let me get this level. Okay, that's just about spot on. Okay, now I'm going to clean this silicone up. Terrific. Now that should dry clear and no. Alright, that should dry clear. Let me just wipe it a little bit more. Where's my special silicone wiping rag? I don't need a whole lot, just enough to keep water out of it. And I think I might do the same thing once I have the mirror placed down, because there's gaps in here that water could get into. But yeah, that's about what we're looking at, and I think it looks pretty good there. And just to double check at the very end, yes, this does clear. That's terrific. Right, so stay. Just tighten this down. Alright, so that's how that looks. Again, I'll work on it a little bit more once the super glue I know should be completely dry. I'll have to probably do the same thing on the other side. I got that funny super glue feeling when you get it on your fingers. Should have worn gloves. Never have, but I should for super glue. I'll never remember to though. Anyways, that's that. That's the right side. I have a single door mirror. Now let's get to the other side and hope that goes a little bit smoother. Alright, so now I'm on the driver's side. I've already taken the door card out and I've pre-fixed the backing plate so it should actually thread into it. And hopefully that should be dry enough by the time we get to that point. I've went ahead and made a rough marking of where it's supposed to, where I want the mirror to be. I just need to get this plate off of here. There we go. And I tried to keep it as equal as it was on the other side, and so that's why it's this low. And I don't know if you can see, but there's actually two markings here. And the top one's what I originally went with, and the bottom one's when I re-measured the other side to check how low I put it. So yeah, it's about this low on the other side too. And I figured I might as well make it equal, which it should be fine, even if it's a bit lower than this trim, because my head's going to be up here. I'll be looking down at it anyways, so I think that should be fine. I just need to poke some holes in there. First I need to mark them up, of course. Where did I set the thing? Alright, now, what I did on the other side was I set it in position, and then I just stuck this through and marked the tape a bit with the Allen key. It's not perfect, but it's what that is. And I'll also use my level this time just to be sure it's actually straight. Alright, we'll tip that side up a bit. Okay, mark that. We're doing pluses this time. Let's just make sure that gap looks about right. Yep, that looks about right. Now, let's just use the bigger bit. This is what I used for the screw, getting that right. I got a bit of super glue on there. Let's just get that off. Alright. Here we go. Mangling the door. Now, it just occurred to me that I left the window rolled down. It looks like we have no damage. That's great. Okay. Whew. Okay, now the other hole. I'm glad I didn't puncture that or shatter the glass. Well, then this should flip over and go through here. Alright, that's about right. The holes in the door are just slightly too small, but they'll slip. There we go. Okay, so let me grab that level and we'll see where we're at here. Let me just take them, since they're threading slightly into the door anyways. Okay, that's perfect actually. Now, I just need to go onto the other side of the door. Like I mentioned, I already pulled out the card, which I'm sure you saw when I rolled down the window anyways. So here's this piece. I just need to reach up into there and set it on those screws and tighten them down. This should be hardened enough that it'll work. Come on. Let's check the level again. Alright. there. I'm going to check this side to make sure it's actually flush. Oh, nope. The back one hasn't gone in all the way yet. Ugh, it's pulling in this plate, which I really don't want it to do. Alright, well, I think that should be pretty good. I'll pull this back out, pull that tape off. Well, before I do that, I'm going to widen this hole just a little bit. Both holes, actually, because I need the screw to slip through the door skin. Ow. So, and again, this door I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do about this. It would be best if I could just find a new door, but they're not very common here in the Midwest, at least not in the basically the desert of the Midwest. I don't know what to call it. It's all plains. Everyone has pickup trucks. No one has an MGB. Especially not one they're porting out. So, I don't know. Either I find one that someone will ship freight and pay like $200 shipping or whatever, or I just order a new door skin, but I still don't know about that because the bottom of the inner door is completely rusted through at the bottom too, so just replacing this skin probably won't help all that much. Alright, we'll see if that screw passes through a bit easier. Yep. Yep. Alright. Now, pull this tape off. There we go. Now I need to grab that silicone again so we can do the same thing we did on that side. Now I have not put together the other, I have not put together that door yet. I mean, put the door skin back on and reassembled everything. Haven't done that yet. I'm just waiting a little bit longer just in case I end up needing to pull it apart again and, I don't know, save myself some trouble. So I'm going to let that sit a few hours possibly and see if that's good enough. Same process, screw this in. Yep, and then it just slips there. Alright, that's in. And we just put that in there for now. Alright. Then we put some silicone around it. Alright, that's in position. And then I'll move that, move that, move that. Open the door. Okay. Now the correct holding procedure seems to be to use your first and middle fingers, your pointer middle fingers, and then you hold it against the screws and just reach as far as you can and turn with the screwdriver to get the screw just enough into it on both sides. Then you can close the door and work the rest of the way. At least that's how my experience is working out.
Alright, I think that's in. Close that and tighten. Gonna check the level. Okay, the right side has to come down just a little bit. Or the left side goes up, I don't know. Whichever way it works out. Left side down. Alright, that looks about perfect. Let me check the back plate, make sure that's flush. It is not. I'm having the same issue where it's not going in all the way on the back side. There we go, that went. Alright, let me check that. Still not all the way. Ugh, I'm really worried about breaking this thing. Alright, so that I think did it. That should be tight enough. Alright, check the level one more time. Alright, now, clean this silicone up. Once again, this dries clear, so it won't look too awful once it's dried. But it will give me a much better seal than just pressing the plastic to the door skin wood. Right. Alright, that's on. Put this in position. And there we go. My car has door mirrors. And it's a bit more road legal. So I'm gonna finish. Let me sit down here. All right, I'm gonna finish putting the doors back together, the insides, I mean, and I think I'll let this dry just a bit. Make sure the silicone is set properly before I take it for a test drive. I still need to test drive the brakes from the other day, and well, now that I have mirrors, I can take it a bit more confidently into town. So. Yeah. It's legal. Right. See you next time then. Thanks for watching Dents and Dings. I know the episodes are a bit... I'm filming this all like back to back, the past few episodes, and I'm releasing them every week so I don't fall behind, or so I can catch up. I don't know. Just so I can get ahead, I suppose. But anyways, so I'm talking a bit like things have happened the day before, and that's because for me it has, but for the channel it hasn't. So I just need to, yeah, I'll get these mirrors sorted out then. And thanks for watching. I don't know if this has been useful to anyone. I wouldn't recommend using me as a as a sort of guide for these sorts of things. So that's a disclaimer, you know. I don't follow me because I know what I'm doing, because I don't. I didn't have any instructions for these. Well, I did, but they weren't great. And I'm just figuring things out. Anyone can figure it out. You just gotta jump in there and feel the pain when you hurt your car. Okay, don't hurt your car though. Just try not to. Anyways, thanks for watching Dents and Dings. See you next time. Alright, I just wanted to show you a bit of what I mean about the annoyance of the door mirrors. So, this is roughly my view of the car while I drive. You know, vroom vroom, except I'd be using two hands. I'm using the other to hold my phone. Again, I'm using my phone camera, so sorry if the quality is a bit better than usual. So, to look at the left door mirror, you know, you have to turn your head. Like, in a regular car, there's your mirror. No, wait, there it is. And then, same thing with the other side. You're like, okay, where's my mirror? Oh. I don't know. It just seems to be a lot of head turnage just to look behind you, especially when you have that. Not that you can see anything out. My window is awful, but anyways, yeah.